Do you treat strangers better than you treat your spouse? Now, be honest. Most of us would never snap at the cashier or ignore our friend when they're talking to us. We wouldn't ask for help from a coworker without saying thank you. And when you're speaking with someone important, I bet you put your phone down and actively listen.
And yet, in marriage, it can be easy to let common courtesy disappear because you think your spouse knows you love them, or maybe they did something to annoy you first. The thing about manners is that they actually carry more weight in your marriage than with strangers because of emotional intimacy. That part of your marriage that's all about feeling seen, valued, and loved, and making sure your spouse feels the same.
Today, we want to share how simple acts like giving a heads up when you're running late or saying please and thank you can change the tone of your marriage and help you feel closer and connected. In our best selling book, The Six Pillars of Intimacy: The Secret to an Extraordinary Marriage, we often talk throughout that book about this concept of what can I do? Focusing on the actions that you can take instead of just waiting for your spouse to take action first. And I think as we talk about the courtesy that we extend to one another, it often starts with us thinking, what can I do in regard to my own behavior? Instead of waiting for my spouse to maybe treat me better or not annoy me so much or frustrate me.
When we look at emotional intimacy, even recently for here in our home, Elisa and I were having a little bit of friction there in how we were speaking to one another on a day to day interaction. And so, right here, where we are, we're in Elisa's office. This is her space, this is her domain throughout the day. I have my space somewhere else in the home. And what began to happen is Elisa and I begin to speak to each other in loud words, loud tones, because we were in different areas of the house,
We were about 30 feet away from each other. And instead of,
in rooms away from
right,
each other.
there were
So there,
walls.
there are walls and doors and everything going on.
And so instead of, hey, let me pick up the phone and call you or send you a text message, we just start yelling back and forth to one another and getting into this place of frustration because when doors are shut or when somebody is concentrating on something else, they're not exactly paying attention to you.
Many a times, something would be said. I didn't hear you, comes back the retort. Well, listen, I'm talking to you, would be a response. That back and forth was creating that disconnect. And so when we look at what can I do, there came a moment in time where I realized that we cannot continue on like this. This isn't the best way to have courtesy for one another, to be courteous to one another when we're having conversation, be it around one extraordinary marriage or any pillar of intimacy in our home. And so what I decided to do without telling Elise was when I was going to go reach out to her or when I had something to say to her, instead of screaming it from the other room, I would get up and I would walk to her right here in this space.
And ultimately, what that reminds us of, and hopefully it'll remind the two of you of, is the fact that you're responsible for your tone. You're responsible for your actions. You're responsible for your willingness to be kind and the words that you use and your body language. And so instead of waiting for our spouses to give us courtesy, what happens if we give courtesy first and we start to do those little things that just say, I see you and you're a human being, and we're going to be courteous in this space.
Me doing that simple action changed the dynamic of how Elisa and I were connecting in our emotional intimacy.
Changing the courtesy in your marriage doesn't have to be earth shattering gestures. Sometimes little things make the biggest difference, like saying please and thank you to communicate respect.
Or give a heads up when plans change or you're running late. This communicates that their time matters and they deserve to be in the loop.
Consider asking once a day, what can I do to help you today? To communicate that you know they're busy with lots to do and you want to be on the same team.
These small actions build emotional intimacy because they help your spouse feel noticed, loved, and appreciated.
It's not just actions that we can take, it's also the words that we choose. You can consider replacing a phrase like you always or you never with I've noticed or I'm feeling. Instead of you're wrong, replace it with help me understand how you see this. And maybe instead of saying that's not what happened, you can say that's not how I experienced it. And I want to understand your side.
And other helpful phrases, I'm feeling sensitive about this topic. I can see why that would matter to you. I'm sorry for my tone. Let me say that differently. And how about this one? That came out wrong. I'm sorry. Common courtesy may sound simple, but it matters for the health of your marriage. When you choose to speak kindly, say thank you, and listen with curiosity, you are actively strengthening your emotional intimacy because your spouse should not get the leftovers of your kindness. They should not have to watch you be patient, gracious, and respectful with everyone else only to receive the short tone, the eye roll, or the silence at home.
This week, ask yourself this question: am I treating my spouse like someone important? You might need to soften your tone or listen a little longer, or maybe just say thank you. You get to choose to be kind and courteous to your spouse, and you'll get to see your marriage grow stronger as a result.
Hey, if you're new here, we're Tony and Elisa DiLorenzo, creators of the Six Pillars of Intimacy. Hit like and make sure you subscribe for more practical ways to strengthen all six pillars of intimacy in your marriage. We'll see you next time. Love you guys.